Hey, welcome to our show. My name is Jonathan Tripp. Today we're going to be talking about Social for Small Business Facebook Live edition. Now, as we've kind of talked about before, and if you guys know anything about the way I think and the way I kind of talk about social, and I was just talking about it in our pre-show. That I always say don't live on any one particular platform. I think there's too many dangers. I think as a small business, you can't afford to rely on just one platform, one social media platform to carry your whole business. I think that's a problem. So I want to kind of get into that, talk about some of the things that I think there would make it true. Things that would maybe ways to kind of not just simply diversify, but think ways that will make your business, make your videos, make your message more effective, and also making it more effective for your time to reach your audience. So we'll kind of get into that. But first, I want to encourage you, if you have not yet, please subscribe to our channel. Okay, you can either do that through you can go right over to Facebook, right over to firetalk.com. And you can go firetalk.com and it's / Jonathan Tripp Live. But an even better way to do that is sign up for our email community. And that's over at jonathantripp.com / better social. Okay. And here's the secret. You can also watch the show live from that page too. So wherever you are, if you want to catch the latest, see what the new updates are, you can also go over there. But make sure you sign up for our email community, and you can be involved. So as in addition to that, some people, they really want to be a part of our after show or kind of like in between shows communities. We have two. We have one on Facebook, and the easy way to get there is over at group.jonathantripp.com. Or if you prefer, and I've just found this out, there are actually people that prefer Google+. It shocks me. So if you want to be part of our Google Plus community, go over to googleplus.jonathantripp.com and you can join up right there. Super easy. It's a great way, and we're going to start getting more active in both of those groups. So I really look forward to interacting with you guys, and that includes sharing your links, sharing your shows, things that you know that are beneficial, not just self-promotion, but actually beneficial to the community. So I dare you to go over there and contribute something wonderful. All right, so talking about Facebook Live. This is part of the ongoing series that I have. It's called Social for Small Business. Today is going to be our Facebook Live edition. I want to talk about Facebook Live, maybe some of the pros, some of the cons, some of the things that I don't really like about it, maybe some of the ways to utilize it, and seeing how it's become, in my opinion, it's kind of become the bandwagon technology or the bandwagon platform, because I think for the most part, all others really haven't done what everybody else wants. And here's why Facebook wins, okay? One, I think the earnings for Facebook just came out. They're up 59 or 63%, close to 60% earnings over last quarter. It's incredible, the amount of earnings that Facebook has, and they directly link that to just the use and the advertising use through live video, okay, and what that's doing and how that's integrated into their ad platform, and getting people to watch and stay on the platform more. It's happening. Also, the overall active user base for it has gone up to 1.71 billion with a B users. That's incredible. Okay. Facebook is, I think, and I don't know what their benchmarks are, but they are achieving what they set out to do, which is establish Facebook Live as the live streaming video platform to use and be on. Now, so I say that as a broadcaster and as a viewer. Okay. Now, why don't I actually agree with that? In the actual practical side of it, I agree with it in terms of the data. It is, because that's where people are, but I don't think that's necessarily the best metric to use. Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that you should be doing it as well. Okay. One of the big problems that I have with Facebook is this: they are making the platform. They say it's a garden, but I actually think it's a castle. They're making it so that you don't need to go anywhere else but Facebook in order to capture and keep the attention of your audience. So what used to be fan pages and in utilizing that, now then throwing in ads in order to be able to get more exposure, more reach for your whatever content you're publishing. They've again changed it by making the news feeds more about your friends and family and less about your business. Even if you've already liked that page, you're going to see less of it. So in order to do that, what they've done is they've pulled back a lot of the other organic reach, a lot of the other things that normally you're used to seeing. And I think they're making room for two things. One, they're making room for more ads, or for ads that are more appropriately placed so that they feel a little bit less like ads, but I think you're going to see more ads because otherwise businesses are not going to keep using Facebook. They're going to use less of Facebook if they're not actually going to be able to get their content in front of eyeballs. And the second thing is they're making room for Facebook live video. So why is that really important for small business? Here's the reason why. Okay, Facebook is actually, it's not just diminishing the exposure of other content, it's actually promoting the use of Facebook Live. Live video really is something, there's something magical about it. And the social media gods know it, and so they're doubling down on it. Even if the technology is a little spotty, that it's inconsistent, you can't see the comments always in real time. You have such a delay that sometimes making the comments, it's so delayed that it kind of makes it irrelevant. And I think it's a very difficult thing to kind of manage. But how would you use it as a small business? I think these are some ideas. These are some strategies on the way that I think small business can and should be utilizing Facebook Live. Now, we have to remember that there's two kinds of live video on Facebook. There's the video that's from your fan page. That's your business page. It takes an encoder software, which, it's not that impossible to get. There are different levels. Some are very expensive, some are moderately priced, and some are free. And I'll just say it this way, because the show isn't about that. You get what you pay for. The more elaborate the software, the encoder software that allows you to take the video or from your camera and be able to upload it and broadcast it through your, pardon me, the software that allows you to encode it through from your webcam through your computer and up to Facebook. The more complicated it gets, actually, the more features you have, the more things that you can do. Okay, so that's the one side. That's the API side. That's the fan page side, and I think it really has some really great potential in there, because you can do your Facebook Live from that, and you can also then promote that video, and that really works and integrates very well with, I think, what Facebook is trying to do, and we're going to get back to that. The second way is you can Facebook Live from your mobile, from your profile. And so when you do that, I see that it's a faster, more in real time. But it's also, the other thing is that typically when you're holding something in your hand, like a mobile device, or it's something that's close, you tend to pay a little bit more attention to what's on the screen. A lot of people, when they see their own picture, and you guys notice this when you take selfies, when you can see your own image, you tend to look at your own picture, not necessarily the camera lens. And it makes all the difference in the world, because here you have all of these great pictures, all well focused, everybody's smiling, at least looking near the camera, and you got the one person that's like this. And you're like wondering what they're looking at. Well, they're looking at themselves. And it's going to be the same thing when you do Facebook Live. So let's get into how should a small business be looking to use Facebook Live. Here's a couple of things, okay? What does live video do that no other video, no other image, no other text or blog, infographic can do? It brings an audience into a moment that is happening right then. And I'm going to say right then, give or take 30 seconds. We're just going to say, guys, that we all know that's pretty live, okay? We're not talking that it has to be happening literally in sync all over the world. That's not what we're talking about. We're saying, look, it's happening right now. So when you start a video, and it doesn't matter from your fan page or from your personal profile, when you start a video that is live, it gives the audience a chance to interact right then and there, and the expectation is that you will be heard. That is the expectation. In the same way, when you go to a concert, you don't expect to be able to rewind the concert while you're there. You're there to experience the event, the people, the sights, the sound. I mean, you're there to experience everything. And in a very similar way, audiences, that's exactly what they expect from a live video. They want interaction, they want reality versus high-level production. And understand where I'm going to go with this. This is more of the behind the scenes on the one hand, okay? There's another type of live stream that captures people's attention. It is really well, high-produced, quality production, but they know, if they know that it's happening live, and by high quality, what I mean is that there's good lighting, it's in focus, it's very good audio. If there is transitions or if there's conversation, that it's helpful conversation. It's not just a bunch of people yakking or talking or trying to talk over each other or just simply arguing. That's not what we're talking about. What we want to see is a better quality video, better quality interaction. And if live video doesn't provide that, I don't really think that an audience cares whether it's a high level, like almost like a studio, television, cable, whatever, news production, or if it's a live from the beach, where there's sights and sounds and wind and all that background. If the quality of the content is not there, and then people will stop watching. Now, how can you use this for your business? I want to give you some ideas of how I've seen really successful businesses, a business really successfully leverage live video, particularly within Facebook. Okay, there is the shows. These are well produced, documented shows, and they're you can go with TechCrunch or CNET or something like that. You can talk about like the Foxes or the CNNs or the whatever the case is. These are larger production companies producing really well done. It's well mic'd, the lighting's on, the cameras, different camera angles, and they keep your attention with a lot of different things. Okay, you can have those, and believe it or not, small business can actually produce those fairly easily. Okay, it just takes a little bit of planning and a little bit of prep, and then they're able to do it. Okay, but the whole point really is that all of that is supporting really great content. So you have those shows. You can do it, I would say, produce it as often as you can. That doesn't interrupt your regular business. Produce as often as you can with quality content. Okay, when you have those two mixes together, I think it's a recipe in the application for success. Okay, so if you want to do a news show, if you want to do a variety show, whatever the case is, you can have a really structured show, and it will get attention, because really well produced shows tend to get attention either way. Okay, another type is the behind the scenes. Okay, and now we're kind of getting away from the sit down studio with the lighting on and everything. We're getting into more of the behind the scenes, where we've seen a variety of different ways that this is done. You can do it from a first person perspective. You can do it from like an onlooker. I've seen this happen where speakers are out doing an event, and they say, hey, would you Facebook Live this? And so they hand them their mobile, or somebody else from the audience does the same thing, and they share that video out. That's kind of a almost like that first person reality in the moment type Facebook Live, and that's a really good. And I saw that happening a bunch over the last, I don't know, month or so. That it's really become a very tangible way, and it makes me feel, it saves me the time of driving, flying, and all that stuff, where I could just watch it. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get the content. So that's a way. Now, another behind the scenes is literally, it's the stuff that you're not going to see anywhere else. because it's the cab ride to your next meeting. It's the just before you go on stage. It's the, hey, I just hung up with a client. I just heard this. This is kind of awesome. Okay. There's that side. And businesses can really leverage that by showing the tangible side, and it really puts a very personal face on a small business that normally tries to come across very professional, very competent, very knowledgeable in their field, and so they don't want to let out too much, and that sometimes what that does is, I think that prevents a business from being able to be really personal. So it's okay to go out to the park, talk about something. One guy that actually does this that I actually kind of like, and I've seen him kind of grow, is Mike Sheehan. He's an insurance broker, but he gets really into and he does it through Instagram, but he shares it, and I've seen him do some other live videos where he's talking about his business, but he puts a personal face on it. And I think if more small businesses did that with good quality content, that's the way to go. Okay, so we talk about those kinds of things, and I think that's really important, that for ways that that small business can use that behind the scenes metric, that behind the scenes stay in touch. Now the real trick to it is not just to talk at the screen like you're talking with a video. It's to provide some information, do something, make something in the realm that you're now going to require your watching audience, your listening audience, to interact with you, so that you can interact back with them. Okay, it's a really good technique. It's a really good strategy to use, where you're requiring your viewing audience to do something, because most of the time people that are watching you live, they want to do something. Okay, so that, I think that part of the behind the scenes aspect, I think it provides the authenticity, the personality to it, that they know, one, that you're a real person, and that you actually are knowledgeable and care about what you're talking about. Now, one of the dangers with doing behind the scenes, that you do too much, that you want to try to catch. Some people say, well, they will literally diary every moment that they're doing. That's not what Facebook Live is about. That's not what live streaming is about. Okay, I would say have a point, be very strategic with it. So if you're getting ready to go into, or have just come out of some kind of like a client meeting, there's something that you can take away, that you can share, or something that you've learned, or something that you've seen happen, and that you think it's a value for your clients. So for those people that might watch, share that one thing, but keep it really short. Don't live stream for 35 minutes about one little topic behind the scenes where you've got this jiggly camera. People aren't going to watch, and they're not going to stay around. All right, that's been, we've kind of gone through that. We've experienced that. Small businesses need to know that, but because they don't do it often enough, they probably don't know, oh, I shouldn't do that. Keep it short. Keep it just a few minutes, especially at first. You're going to teach your audience that you have something valuable, and that it doesn't take a long time to learn it. That's a real key. And just real quick, I want to say hi to everybody that is watching us live. I don't even care what platform or where you guys are watching us, but at least for those guys that are watching us in Fire Talk, I really appreciate you guys. I'm trying to keep up with all of the comments. You guys are just going crazy today, and it's fantastic. If this is your first time watching us, please send me a tweet. Find me on Twitter at Jonathan Tripp. Just say, hey, I saw you on today's show. I'd love to connect. It's a great way. I do this show Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. And we go through a wide variety of topics, but usually they're, I don't know, guys, what are they about? Business, social media, marketing, some of those things, but we try not to make it boring. I'm tired of boring. I'm tired talking about just all that stuff. But I think Facebook Live is specifically for small business is really super crucial, because you can't, as a small business, you cannot act like a corporation. You cannot act like a personal brand and expect the same level. It's a different game. It's a different animal. You have a different audience. And so you need to act differently, and using the same rules as the big kids do, or trying to do it like the personalities, it doesn't work, because that's not how it's built. That's not how your audience interacts. But that doesn't mean that you can't use a live streaming, and particularly Facebook. But guys, why should you be using Facebook above all others, or at least have a presence on it? And guys, I understand I have to take my own medicine with this. I've done Facebook, and then I stopped. I've tried it on both ends. I've tried it from the fan page. I've tried it from my personal profile. And I'd be honest, I think I'm going to go back to using my personal profile a lot more, and less doing it directly from my fan page. And here's the reason why. A lot of my friends are people, also Facebook friends, okay? I'm connected with them. They know me from the show. They know me because they've done work with me, or I've done work for them, or something like that. And we've been able to connect through Facebook as a social platform. And I mean, again, some people, they're a part of our Facebook group, Lab Nation, and they connect with me that way. We just hit it off. It's a great friendship. It becomes a great working relationship, and on and on. Well, now I have a group of people that are really interested in the same things that I am. Well, that might be a really good way to use Facebook Live. That I'm not going to sell a product on my Facebook Live. That's not really where to sell. It's a place to inform and involve. Okay? I want to grow a community rather than just another sales page. Look, there's a time and a place for sales page. I don't always think that doing it on a Facebook Live, even for small business, is the right move. Inform, involve, get them your audience interactive with you, and I'm telling you, when you do that, they're going to like it a lot more and trust you quicker to when they see you come on again. They're going to say, "Oh, Mike's on again, Q's on again, Sandra, she's on again, Pat, I'm doing another show. I want to see what they have to say." That's the way you build an audience, and as a small business, being consistent with it, super important. And I don't mean consistent as in every day or always at 10 o'clock. I'm saying being consistent with your content delivery at whatever time. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to train and teach your audience that they can trust you as an information source. I'm telling you, that is the way to do it. So, one of the things I wanted to do is I was going to ask, if you don't have any questions during our show today, during the recorded portion of our show, at least make sure you ask them in our after show, because I do have an after show. We do it live, and it's kind of open up the seats a little bit more. But I hope I made a good case today of how to use Facebook, Live, or maybe even more so, why you should be using Facebook Live. Facebook Live, the audience is huge. When you run it through a business, you're able to repurpose that content and throw ads to it. And we talked actually about that in a previous episode of Jonathan Tripp Live, of using Facebook, using Facebook Pixels, how to retarget, and the importance of that. Well, this today's show is actually about producing content that you could use that information and retarget and run ads to, so that maybe you could grow your audience. And putting a little bit of money up front into advertisements may be a great boost to get to find a listening audience. And so, having said that, guys, I think that having a really good strategy as a small business geared towards small business owners for their particular niche, I think is a much smarter way than trying to be all things on all platforms, trying to think that you have to throw six-figure ad budgets at your audience in order to get their attention. Not anymore. I think micro-influencers and having super niche audience is the way to go. You'll have a much better return on your investment. I think you're going to have a much happier and a more enjoyable experience as a business owner. And I'm telling you, when live video, it's going to come through every time. So with that, I'm going to wrap today's up. I want to point everybody over. Let's go over to, we'll have the after show, and I'll drop the link in the chat. I would like to say, guys, thank you everybody that joined us live this morning for our show. I really appreciate it. And if you are watching this on the replay, thank you for spending the time to do that. Guys, we do this show Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern. I would love to have you join us live. And if you do, if this is your first time, make sure you tell me, hey, John, this is my first time, or this is the first week. Let me know what you think. I would love to be able to interact with you and learn a little bit more about what you do. So with that, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be doing our Talk Social News. That's our Friday edition, and I would love to be able to get a chance to see you with that. So with that, guys, I'm going to say I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.